Hello, everybody, and welcome into another season preview show here at the Hockey Writers YouTube channel. And we're up to the Colorado Avalanche. And I've got Zach Martin here, who's stepping in for another team to cover. I mean, we don't have a lot of writers for the Avalanche. So thanks, Zach, for covering another team here.
Hey, no, of course. Just happy to help whatever I can. And thank you for the invite as always. Yeah, I mean, love talking hockey. It doesn't have to be the Hurricanes. It can pretty much be whoever. So, I mean, hey, when it's hockey related, why not, right?
Yeah, for sure. And the season's coming up soon. We're into September finally, first week. We're really getting close to training camp starting, preseason, and fun stuff, and then our regular season getting going. So we're getting closer and closer, and it's exciting. So let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, they didn't do a lot of changes in the offseason, brought in a couple guys. Bring back this pretty much the same team from last season, re-signed Brock Nelson to pretty much stay their second line center. And that wasn't a guarantee. It wasn't sure that he was going to come back, but he is. So they've got a good second line center there. So let's just talk about the only new addition up front, and that's Victor Olofsson, who just signed, what was it, a week ago or something like that?
Like a week or two ago. Yeah, that's really
so
like recent.
It's the last free agent to sign.
Yeah.
So what do you think about his addition to the group?
I think when you look at the Colorado Avalanche, I mean, they kind of need to figure out what are we going to roll with and stuff like that. I mean, Olofsson isn't a bad addition. I mean, he's 30 years old. Originally drafted by the Buffalo Sabres, way back when. I mean, last season, I mean, he did okay with the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, you're talking about 15 goals, 29 points in 56 games. Did have a plus 17, so I mean, it's still pretty good for the most part. Number of games, 14.5 minutes of average time per ice. Did have 6 power play goals and 4 game winners. So I mean, he did contribute to Vegas in some sense in his. So it's very interesting when you look at what he did for Vegas in his 1 year, and then you look at where he was the other 6 years in Buffalo. So this is really his third team total in his career. You're talking entering season 8. So, I mean, it's a pretty good addition for the Avs. You're adding someone to the roster that's most likely you're kind of looking at third line left wing. So not a bad addition to the top 9, all things considered. Like I said, you got a guy who you might put on the power play if you really wanted to, or you add some top 9 scoring depth, which isn't really bad. So I think it's an okay move. I mean, it works. It's cost efficient. You're adding a guy who's proven to score. It's maybe limited, but like I said, he only played 59 games last year, and it was on Vegas. So maybe he might get more opportunities with the Avs.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. He could play with McKinnon. That's a pretty good centerman. And even Brock Nelson, I mean, is pretty good. And he's shown that he can score on the power play. He was a power play merchant, I think, for the first few seasons there with Buffalo. He was scoring most of his goals on the power play. So, I mean, even if he just adds that,
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if he just adds that, that's a pretty good addition. He wasn't bad in Vegas, right? Like you said. So, he might be a good addition to the Avalanche for sure. Yeah. What do you think about the rest of the group? I mean, like I said, bringing back everyone, really. Gabriel Landeskog going to have his first regular season in a long time, which, I mean, I guess is an addition in itself. So what storyline?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of almost nailed it. Like, I think the biggest one is you get your captain back for the first time in 3 years? Like, he's been out since their cup run back in 22. So you're talking going on the third year. Like, you bring him back his first full regular season. Like, how much of a boost was it getting him back for the playoffs? Like, I think the Avs were kind of juiced, being like, oh my gosh, we got the captain back. Like, it was a long journey from him. And I mean, Landy's one of my favorite, non-Canes. Like, he's my favorite Swede because I got family from Sweden. He's probably one of my favorite Swedish players of all time. I love Landy. Now you get him back for a full season. I think that's going to be a massive boost for the Avs, who really kind of needed him last year. Gave him that injection of, okay, we got our captain back. Like, the vibes are high. So I think getting him back in this lineup, like you said, it's a big addition to this team. I mean, possibly because right now Daily Faceoff has him second line with Nelson and Nichushkin. That is a disgusting second line for the Colorado Avalanche. Behind Lehkonen, McKinnon, and Martin Necas.
Yeah.
Like that top six could make a lot of noise in the Central Division if they keep Landeskog on the second line. If they move Landeskog up to McKinnon, Necas, my goodness, that first line is absolutely unreal. So no matter where you put Landeskog, anywhere in that top six, first or second line, and if your center is Nelson and McKinnon, then you got Nichushkin and Necas on your opposite wing. My goodness.
Yeah.
Like, good luck stopping that top six, however they want to mix that group up. But yeah, that's a big one, is getting Landeskog back.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, he didn't look bad even when he came back.
No, like he looked like he didn't miss. It looked like he didn't miss a step. Honestly, even when he played for the Eagles in the AHL for those couple of games, scored either way. It's like it's like, oh yeah, I might have been gone for the last 3 years, but I remember how to score goals. And you're like, okay, like he comes back and no problem. It's like, I would love to have that issue. It's like, yeah, guy's been gone for multiple years, comes back, immediately makes an impact. Like, didn't miss a step at all. It just shows you how good Great Bill Landeskog is to miss that much time and just automatically be impactful. If you're Colorado, you're loving this, and you get a full season of him back. Watch out for the Central with Landy back, at least for the Avs.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest storyline for the forwards coming in, and that's a big deal for him coming back. And I'm happy for him too, because he was really deal with so many of those the injuries and the setbacks too, right? So
yeah, the documentaries they've done on him, man, like if it pulls at the heartstrings, if you're not like at least misty-eyed watching these, I don't know what's going to help, because when I watched him, man, it was tough not to shed a few tears, because man, him with his kids and then just the journey he went through, it makes sense of like, that's why everyone was pulling for him to get back, because it's just not the same without Landeskog in the league. And the fact that what he went through and that they showed that process, man, it shows a warrior out of that guy. So it's good to see him back. It's great, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully can stay healthy all season and nothing comes back and
knock on wood for sure. Yeah. We need a full season of Landeskog just to see what he can do for the Avs.
For sure. All right, let's move to the defense, and they saw one new addition. You're very familiar with him, Brent Burns, coming from the Carolina Hurricanes last season. I mean, he was a later free agent signing as well for the Avalanche. What do you think? Does he still have anything in the tank to really make an impact on the blue line for the Avalanche?
I think he can, because I know from Daily Faceoff they do have him third pairing with Sam Malinsky. So I think that's probably a good spot to put in it, because even with the Hurricanes, I feel like he wasn't really a top pairing defenseman with Jacob Slavin, because we talked about on the Hurricane season preview, it was he did kind of lose a step. He did have surgery that no one really knew about. And Father Time, I mean, he's 40. Father Time catches up to everyone, unfortunately. And he had a lot more responsibilities last year, so you kind of saw a little bit of like that step wasn't there, because we talked about it's like, you know, he's not the quickest guy right now, and he did lose a step. And now they put him third pairing. I think it's a good spot to have him in for the Colorado Avalanche, because you got Taze and Makar. Duh, that makes sense, because you got, you know, the best offensive defenseman in the league with one, you know, top 3 defensive defenseman in Taze, and that's in the same conversation as a Jacob Slavin. So that's a good top pairing for the Avs. And you know that's already good, because they've done it for so many years now. Then you got Sam Girard, Josh Manson. That's a good second pairing right there. So it makes sense to have Malinsky and Burns together. That's not bad. And looking at Brent Burns even last year, it was definitely a really down year for him. His first really down year with the Canes. I mean, his first season with the team set the record for points in the season for a defenseman with 61, 43 assists, 23, 24, 33 assists, 43 points. And then he had 6 goals, 23 assists, 29 points last season with a +7. And the thing is, the last 4 seasons combined, 82, 82, 82, and 82 games. Brent Burns has not missed a regular season game in 4 consecutive seasons. And even that silo season, still played 56 games.
Yeah.
And that was with the Sharks in his second, like 2 years before he came over to the Canes. So, and he still averaged like 20 minutes and 57 seconds last year with the Carolina Hurricanes. So even if the Avs move him down to like 15 to 16 minutes on that third pair. I doubt they're going to play on the power play. I think there's going to be like, hey, we want you here, but we're kind of going to let you settle in. It's a different system to Carolina. I think Colorado's more of a run and gun type of offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see how they kind of work him into that. But I think third pairing, for his age, the step isn't really there. I think he has some juice to help him out, but at least I think with the responsibility that Colorado might give him, I think he will be at least a help to Colorado this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, he can still play. Like I mentioned, it's like he can still put up 15, 20 minutes and even step into a top 4 role, even for just a short period of time of injuries, right? Can happen.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he's a good low risk, really, addition to that bottom.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Pairing. Yeah. So I like the addition for sure. All right, goaltending, and this was a position they overhauled last season, and probably unprecedented, because I don't know if any team has ever done this, where they've gotten rid of all their goaltending and brought in 2 new guys, and it worked out.
Right.
So I mean, they're bringing this tandem to start the season. Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood. I mean, is this tandem? Was it a flash in the pan, or do you think it's a good one for this season?
I think for what they did, I think you saw that progression for the Avs. Yeah, they were definitely struggling to start the season with the team they originally had, and then it's like, okay, this isn't working. Let's fix this. And you did. You moved a lot of those guys out to Nashville, and you got Scott Wedgwood. We talked about Justus Annunen on the Preds preview, and then you ship out your other goalie to the Sharks, and now you have Mackenzie Blackwood, so you got the Woods essentially. So it's and you saw the difference in the apps. You saw how they kind of took that next step with their new tandem, and I think they played really well together. Now you get your first full season with this tandem. I don't want to say it's a flash in the pan. I do say I'm kind of like, what does a full season of Blackwood and Wedgwood do together? That makes me more curious. Am I confident? I would say I'm confident, but not like this is a top 10 tandem. I would say it's definitely top 15-ish. But if they can kind of took the numbers that they did at the back end of the season and kind of maybe take that next step together as a group and maybe help the Avalanche kind of do what Winnipeg did last year, maybe not win the President's Trophy, but kind of almost put themselves into the upper 100, because I think the Avs finished like third with 102. I think Winnipeg finished with like 116. If they get them if they close that gap on Winnipeg, maybe kind of put themselves in second or maybe even first in the division, and these two are playing lights out hockey together, then I say, then it works. So I'm kind of in that in between of I'm confident, but I'm not saying that they're top 10, but I don't think it's a flash in the pan, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, the thing is Blackwood was even in that conversation, surprisingly, for the Vezina Trophy at one point last season, right? So, I mean, and he's shown a lot of potential in the past with the Devils, and maybe just needed a really good team in front of him to showcase what he actually is. And that, I mean, he's a good goaltender. So I think 100%. I agree with it. I think they're more maybe that top 15 range, and a lot better at goaltending than they were, I think, before, definitely. Because Gorgiev's not even, he's nowhere. He's a free agent, right? So
I think he still is. Because if he couldn't figure out with the Sharks and they didn't bring him back, that's a tough pill to swallow. And of course, we talk about for the Preds, Annunen right now is maybe the backup to Saros. So I think Colorado did get an upgrade in their goaltending, because if one guy is a possible backup, maybe fighting with Matt Murray for the 2, and your other guy isn't signed still, even after going to the Sharks, I think the Avs kind of got themselves out of a potential hole that could have been a lot worse of their season last year. So they did what they had to do, and it seems like it kind of worked out for them, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And Blackwood's, and they signed him for that extension too. So it is going to be interesting to see how they do in a full season. All right, moving to the division. Now, we talked about the Predators being in that middle. The Avalanche are definitely in that top portion. Do you think they're the best in right now, or are they just still in that three? Like, because there's the three big powers, as we talked about on the Predators.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're talking about Winnipeg and Dallas in Colorado, yeah, those are definitely the top three teams in a division. Then it's kind of like, where are you at with the Blues? Where are you at with the Preds? The Hawks are, who knows with the Blackhawks right now? Yeah, but I definitely say Colorado is definitely in that top three, like kind of just etching into those guys making the playoffs, and it's just kind of fighting for the seeding of like, do you get the wild card team or are you getting home ice against whoever if you're the two, who's the number three and stuff like that? Do you have home ice advantage round one? I would say that because I think they dealt with a lot of injuries last year too, for the most part, a little bit, and I think their goaltending kind of really sank them early, and they kind of had to like pick it back up in the back half. Even in their back half, I think they had probably one of the best records in that later stretch of the season. So if you had a full season of what the Avs were in that back half, I think you could be talking about them as Central Division winners last season. So as long as guys stay healthy, like I said, they got Brock Nelson coming back. They pretty much got the entire team coming back, and they added Olofsson and Burns. Now you got your goalie tandem. Can that run ruck shot through the whole season instead of just their partial, where they got them in the trades? I guess it depends on, can Winnipeg, with the loss of Ehlers, where can that go for them? Can Connor Hellebuck replicate what he did in the regular season again, despite the playoff run not being the greatest for him? How does that really work out? Do we see him do that again? I don't know. It depends on the goaltending. I mean, Vasilevsky is a guy who's really consistent. If you're looking at goalies who can do it back-to-back years, Connor Hellebuck is really good, but can you repeat what he did last season? That's a question. Dallas, it's they're a question mark too, because is Robertson going to be there? How's the goaltending going to be? How's everyone going to mesh for a whole regular season of their guys they got last year? Mikko Rantanen being one of them. I think if you're looking at the Colorado Avalanche, I see that they're easily a top three team in the division. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that we're probably talking a Central Division title for these guys. Because we talked about it. We talked about it, Matt. They finished with 102 points without Gabriel Landeskog, without their whole roster being healthy, and they had to switch their entire goaltending. If their goaltending is as good as it was last year, and you get the addition of Gabe and the addition of Olofsson and having all those guys stay healthy, who's to say that these guys can't win the division in the Central? I think the Colorado Avalanche could easily win this division. Top three is 100%. Like you can put that in Sharpie. Yeah, but I'd say it's not out of the realm of possibility for a division for these guys to take the Central.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is, they dealt with a ton of injuries. I think they might have led the league in man games lost. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was pretty close. I know them in Columbus those guys were running like 1-2. Like just like how many guys can you run through? Because I think at one point they almost had like half the Colorado Eagles up at one point, because that's how bad they were in terms of the injuries. I think even for the Eagles in the AHL, they had to call a lot of guys up from the ECHL just to get bodies, essentially. So, if this team gets stay healthy with all the additions they got back, even from in-house guys and their goaltending, I do think that a division title could be in the cards for the Avs, and probably a deep playoff run.
Yeah. So the Avalanche were third in man games lost last season.
Oof. Yeah.
Sharks and Maple Leafs led the way.
Right. And like I said, and the Avs still finished with 102 points, and they were third in man games lost. That really says how good the Avs were as a team to do that. And now you get these additions, especially one of them, like we talked about, the captain, and your goaltending is set for the whole year with those two. I think you're looking at more than 102 points in a third place finish. I think we're looking a lot higher for these guys.
Yeah, I can see it. They're going to be tough. Be a tough team. I think they're being a bit maybe overlooked a little bit right now.
Yeah, because it's about Winnipeg and Dallas, and that's who everyone talks about in the Central Division. I'm like, don't sleep on the Avs, guys. Like, This could be a very dangerous team out of the West.
Yeah.
And it's their 30th season. So, I mean, you're talking 30 years of Avs hockey. There could be a little extra juice for this team.
Yeah.
The hockey gods definitely look out for teams that are hitting some milestones in their franchise. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't put it out of the realm.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. All right, let's go to a quick fire round and we'll start with the biggest. What's the biggest storyline question mark going into this season?
I think we kind of talked about it. It's the health. Can these guys stay healthy? If they're not third in man games lost, if most of their guys stay healthy, and if you get the full season contributions of, if Olofsson's going to help out, if Nelson's going to give you a full season, what's Burns going to do? Can your goaltending kind of, be what they were the back half of the season? Now you get a full season of Landeskog. If you get the contributions of the guys that you brought in partway through the season last year, give them a full season of that. If guys stay healthy, I think that's probably one of the biggest storylines. Are you getting contributions across the board from everyone? And you're not third in man games lost.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the big thing. It's just health. Stay healthy. Yeah. And this team could be a problem.
Yeah. They were a problem when they're not healthy. So, I mean, that's
what I'm saying. It's like they weren't a problem when they were hurt, but now if everyone's there, okay, we're good then.
We have a problem. Yeah, for sure. All right, Tad, who do you see as a breakout star this season? They don't have a lot of young guys. It's all pretty established guys. I don't know if is there anyone really that hasn't broken out lately.
Yeah, I mean, Ivan maybe.
Yeah.
Joe Kiviranta. I would say maybe those two guys could be that. I mean, yeah, because like I said, that's kind of the big question. Because Joe Kiviranta, I mean, he's 28, so I mean, he's not really old per se. He did have 23 points. I mean, and Ivan didn't really play. I don't think he really played a whole lot, to be honest, too. So I mean, he played 40 games, only had 8 points, but he is 22. So if you're talking for guys who are a little bit younger, I think Ivan might have the biggest possible chance to do something there. I mean, everyone else is kind of like 26 or older. You're talking Nietzsche's, Gerard, Colton's 28, Nichushkin's 29.
Yeah.
I mean, Lekkonen's 29. Kel McCarr is 26, which is crazy to think about. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jack Drury's 24. He only played 33 games and had 9 points, but he's slotted to be the third line center. So maybe Jack Drury finally gets that shot that he didn't really get in Carolina, who was the fourth line center, and now he's the third line center with the Avs. And I think they got him with Olofsson and Ross Colton. So hey, Jack Drury's still young. So maybe I'm looking at maybe Ivan and Jack Drury maybe are kind of the breakout guys for the Avs this upcoming season.
Yeah.
That's
Drury,
kind of,
I like
maybe,
that one.
Maybe Malinsky. Yeah, maybe Sam Malinsky on the defense. Yeah. Oh, Drury for sure. Drury was really great for the Canes. I wish it kind of worked out for him, but yeah, I mean, if there's someone to look at for the Avs, I say Drury, Ivan might be the two guys to look at.
Yeah,
honestly,
I get that. Yeah. All right, this could be because there's so many guys who are injured, but I'd say everyone that was injured needs to bounce back. But who needs to the most?
Jeez. That's a great question. I really because I mean, Nathan McKinnon 116 points. McCarr was 92. Then it's a drop off to Lekkonen at 45. Devontae's at 44. Some of these other guys aren't even with the team anymore. I mean, Nichushkin played 43 games last year, but that's a whole different circumstance. We still had 34 points. I mean, Ross Colton had 29. Nietzsche's in 30 games had 28. So I'd say, 20 points in 30 games isn't bad for Martin Nietzsche's. I'd say maybe if there's maybe Gabriel Landeskog, just because it's like he hasn't played in 3 seasons. Maybe that's your bounce back of, hey, let's see what you do in a full season again. Yeah, because it's tough because Nietzsche's and Drury only played 30-something games with the Avs. And would you really consider that a bounce back with a short window they had together? Yeah, like I say, it's tough because it's, some guys are young, some guys are kind of okay. Maybe Ross Colton. Yeah, this is a tough one, honestly. I really don't know where you look at for a bounce back. I mean, what do you think, Matt?
I'm looking at I'd say Nichushkin because of all the other stuff that he was going on.
Yeah,
he has to bounce back to what he was in full season without getting put in the NHL Players Assistance Program and all that stuff. I think if he can get back to being a full season of Nichushkin of scoring, because he's a key guy. So I mean, I would pick Nichushkin maybe as and needs to bounce back and just stay out of the other drama that he's been in. So
yeah.
All right, let's look at some X factors. What do you got for X factors this season?
I'm looking at what does a full season Martin Necas look like for the Avs? Because, like I said, you look at a guy who had 28 points in 30 games, 11 goals, 17 assists. He was a +1 for the Avs, but you're looking at a guy who, for the most part, look at the power play goals that he had. He had 6, or he had 5 power play goals, which is pretty dang good. 3 game winners. Did average 20 minutes and 30 seconds, which is a lot compared to what he had in Carolina. So what does a full season of Martin Necas look like for the Avs? I think he's a potential X factor. We talked about him a lot. You got Landeskog coming back. I think that's going to be a big boost for the Avs in terms of their forward core. Nichushkin, like you said, can he overcome all that extra nonsense that happened last year? Can he kind of stay out of the drama? What does he look like? So I think those guys could be big. And and when you talk about it, Jack Drury is your third line center. Maybe if he adds a little bit of juice to that third line and kind of be that breakout star. He's 24. He's still pretty young. I think if he takes that next step, maybe Drury is a guy that you could be like, he might be a sneaky X factor out of that 3C spot and kind of help boost your top 9 that has him with, like I said, Olofsson, Colton, Landeskog, Nelson, Nichushkin, and Lehkonen, McKinnon, Necas.
Yeah.
If that top 9 is rolling, like I said, the Avs could be a team to really watch out for. We're not even talking about Parker Kelly as your 4th line center or Joel Kiviranta as your 4th right winger potentially.
Yeah, there's a few X factors for sure. Landeskog is definitely a big one. Can make a big difference. He can come back to how he was, for sure. All right,
you can see the goaltending too. You can even see the goaltending can be an X factor.
Yeah, goaltending definitely. Because I mean they were an X factor after they were both acquired, so they could definitely be that again for sure. All right, rookies, prospects. Now, again, there's not a lot of space for these guys. I do have have a pick for this, but I'll let you go first. Who do you think could surprise, make the team? Not a lot of spots for it. Probably a 4th line is probably where these guys would go. But do you see anyone?
I'd say if there's potentially 2 guys I would say there's 1 or 2 guys we could potentially see at some point. Maybe not out of camp initially, but maybe make a showing during the regular season. Maybe if talking about injuries, stuff potentially pop up, or they're really killing it in the American with the Eagles. Maybe like, hey, maybe someone down on the bottom 6 isn't really working out. Let's see if one of these guys can do it. I'm looking at Gavin Brindley, who they got in a trade from the Jackets back on the 27th. 6 goals, 17 points in 52 games with the Cleveland Monsters in the American. I think he's someone that could be, adding something to them. Maybe it was his first year pro last year. It's tough going in your first year of pro hockey. You're kind of in that weird spot where the Jackets guys going up and down. Rosters maybe weren't the same, but maybe he's projected to possibly make it this season. I'm looking at Gavin Brindley on the forward core. And another guy, maybe Nikita Preshapov, if I'm saying that correctly. Picked 217th in the 2024 draft. 51 games with the Colorado Eagles last year, 9 goals, 23 points, 6'1", 194. I mean, he did play 10 games with the Avs last year in the bottom 6 role. So maybe if, it's a guy who, he's 21. If he plays really well in camp, maybe he's the 4th line center. Who really knows? So I'm looking at Preshapov and maybe at some point Gavin Brindley. Those are the 2 kind of prospects that might either maybe not out of camp, but this during the season maybe could be like hey, let's see what this guy can do if he's really killing it with the Eagles. in the American League. Like, what about it for you, Matt?
You got mine right away. Gavin Brindley. I love him. He is one of my favorite prospects, and that's not a Canuck. Because I want him to be a Canuck. But he's like he just reminds me so much of Connor Garland. Like he's that type of small guy, but he's just forecheck and really tough to play against, really quick, really shifty. I really like him. I think he's going to end up being I don't know about a top end guy, but Garland's more that, again, like more of a middle six, can step in, score 20 goals, and be that really energy guy that just really, really fun to watch. So I really like Brindley. I think he could surprise and maybe make the roster, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a potential. Like I said, was it 5'8", 173? I mean, he was 2023 draft pick 34. I mean, he left for Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood. So the Avs really, the fact they got him out of that trade and they had to give up Coyle and Wood for him and whatever else was part of that trade. But I think getting Brindley, I mean, plus he's a Michigan product. We all know how the Michigan Wolverines definitely know how to, produce a lot of NHLers as of late. We're talking like Sillinger and Adam Fantilli and all that too. And they're getting a lot of good guys from the CHL that are coming in to replenish their roster in the NCAA. So if Gavin Brindley can just bring that, that aspect of his game, and if he can really shout like in the Eagles or even in training camp, like you said, maybe he is a guy who fits that middle six or comes up at some point and makes that Connor Garland like impact, because Garland does have a huge impact for your Canucks in some way. So I think Brindley could bring that, type of mentality to the Avs to it in some fashion. So I agree with you. I think Gavin Brindley is one of those guys to watch for prospects for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, we'll watch. I always watch him. I was like, oh, he got traded. But I mean, didn't get traded to a team I really hate. So that's good.
Right.
All right. Let's say, prospects to watch, other prospects to watch. Do you have anyone else that should we watch, even if they won't make the team?
It's tough because a lot of the other guys you could possibly look at are maybe a little bit farther down the road. I'm really curious to see what Ilya Nabokov can do. Yeah. He's a goalie. He played with Milogorsk in the KHL last year, 23, 17, and 6, 2.22 goals against, a 9.23 save and 3 shutouts in 29 games. That's pretty dang good for a goalie. I know a lot of people look at KHL numbers and be like, I would watch out for that because they're definitely inflated for goalies. But you still really can't scoff at a guy who's 22 years old and absolutely lit it up in the KHL. And he's only there for one more season, so you're looking at possibly 26, 27.
Yeah.
The Avs could really enjoy having that in their system. So I would say probably look at Nabokov. I know it's KHL, but still someone to take a look at. Another guy, maybe Mikhail Gulyayev. I don't know how to pronounce. Some of these Russian names are just impossible, but defenseman out of Omsk last year, 67 games, 15 points, 31st overall in the 23 draft. He's possibly looking at a 26, 27, NHL arrival time. So I'd say probably those two guys are kind of ones I would definitely look at, but definitely the goalie though, in Nabokov, because he sounds like someone who the Avs could really love to have in, at least, next season somewhere within the organization, or maybe he is a potential backup to Blackwood.
Yeah.
So,
well, he was my first. He was my first thought too, because I just updated the top 10 goaltending prospects, and he landed 8th, 9th.
Oh yeah, I can see 8-9 for sure in terms of top 10 across the league. Yeah, I think. Yeah. In terms of prospects for goalies, I can see that. He's definitely top 10 in goalies for sure. He's really good. Like I said, when you look at those type of numbers where you're putting up, almost a sub 2.2 and a middle 920s, that says a lot. And he's, like I said, he's 22. It's pretty dang good being in the KHL and putting some numbers up like that, because it is the second best league in the world. And even they say if it's inflated numbers, you still can't say, it's whatever. No, those are great numbers for a 22-year-old netminder in the KHL, regardless of how you try to downplay that.
Yeah,
because you can't downplay those numbers.
No,
for a 22.
and he won the playoff MVP, not this past season, but in his draft year. So
there you go. Yeah, like what more do you need to say about this guy? Yeah. I think the Avs got to steal it, and then the fact that he was the 38th pick in the 2024 draft.
Yeah,
not a bad move for Sakic in the front office to go and grab him where they did in that draft.
I mean, he's a little bit older. He did go through the draft. I think he was first draft eligible in 2023. Went through that one, and then drafted in the second year of eligibility. But I mean, it's goaltending is interesting for
for sure, especially the Russians for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely a wild card with those guys, but
for sure. All right, this one probably an easy one for forwards at least, unless we think Landeskog going to get back to his 100-point seasons. Which I mean,
right.
Who's going to lead the team in points? It's probably McKinnon.
Yeah, I mean, when you lead the entire league last year in assists with 84 and you finish with 116 and you're a plus 25, it's tough to not say Nathan McKinnon because I think he's definitely a top 3 player in the entire league. You could make an argument for number 2 if you want to put him over Draisaitl, but forwards, it's McKinnon. Like, it's kind of a slam dunk answer for this one. I think if Landeskog can get within the realm of like maybe an 80-point season, I think that's a really big boost for the Avs. Yeah. In terms of forwards, if you're saying anyone other than Nathan McKinnon, I think you're just trying to be different on purpose.
Yeah.
But,
and I was wrong. Landeskog hasn't gotten close to a 100-point season. I thought he did. 75 is his career high.
Hey, like I say, 75 or 80, there you go. That wouldn't be bad if you're Gabriel Landeskog. I thought he had 100 too because he's been around for so long and he's been so good. You would assume he might have lucked into or like had a really season where he just went off and got 100. But hey, 80 points still wouldn't be bad if you got to have Landy in his first season back.
Yeah.
But
it's McKinnon.
And the chickpea pasta.
Makar for defense.
I mean, 30 goals, 62 assists, 92 points, and the dude's only 26. I mean, he had 12 power play goals last year, 2 shorties as well, 4 game winners, averaged 25 minutes and 43 seconds. The fact that he finished, he won the Norris last year, his second time ever. It makes sense. That's kind of tough to say no to. 6 for the Hart voting, which is kind of crazy to think about. 6 in the Lady Bing voting. I mean, for the Hart, McKinnon finished 4th in the Hart, which is still kind of crazy to think about. But you're coming off his second Norris. I think is it his first or second Norris season? I think second Norris now. Yeah. I mean, I would be surprised if you're looking at a possible third for this guy. Kel McCarr is just on another level on of itself. This is probably the easiest one in terms of like, all right, who's leading scoring for the Avs? Nathan McKinnon. Kel McCarr. Next story. Next question.
We didn't even need to ask this one.
It's crazy.
Just an excuse to talk about McKinnon and McCarr. All right, last one. Bold prediction or hot take for this season for the Avalanche. This is tough because it's like what's really a bold prediction for this team? Like deep playoff run of the year. I got one, so I'll go Landeskog, 100 points. Okay. There's a bold prediction. There's a bold prediction. Yeah. And his first season back after being out for a long time. So. Oh man, could you imagine the attention that would be on the Avs and Landy if you see him just start creeping to that 100 and it's like, oh, it's his first season back. He's missed the last 3 years and he's pushing for 100. That would be nuts. All right, I got one for you. Mackenzie Blackwood wins the Vezina this season. Yeah, that's a good one. Especially when, he was in the conversation a bit there, but I don't think anyone's putting him in that right now. If you're looking at early Vezina, it's like The
Shesterkin,
regular guys.
Hellebuck, Vasilevsky. Yeah, it's the run-of-the-mill guys you're always kind of looking at. Yeah, and like you said, the Avalanche are kind of getting overlooked just for the Central alone. So if you go and see Mackenzie Blackwood kind of winning the Vezina, I mean, like you said, he was in conversations last year. They're kind of overlooking him right now. If you give him a full season of what he did for the Avs this season, and they go into the division, and he has an unreal run, who's to say that Blackwood might? Who says he couldn't win the Vezina this upcoming season?
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, we'll see how the Avalanche do. They should be a really strong team, like always, it seems, the last bunch of years. So we'll see where they kind of end up. But make sure to check out everything at thehockeyriders.com. We do have one writer that does cover the Avalanche, but couldn't get on this video. But he does write, have some articles. So make sure checking out all that on the site. Lots of preview content for all the teams going on right now. We've got Substack newsletters to keep you up to date with all those articles if you wanted to take a look at that. And all of our other previews that we have out on the YouTube channel. We're over halfway of all the teams out there right now. So lots of stuff to watch if you want to watch all of them or pick and choose the teams you want to see. But make sure doing all that. But until our next preview, we'll see you next time.